We're live with News Central TV. News Central now at this hour begins with investigative piece that News Central have been following. Last week, we brought you a special report where we told you that the mothers of two teenage boys in Lagos were asking that investigations be carried out soon to bring their children who were kidnapped and trafficked to Ghana. The boys who reside in the Kotare settlement estate in Lagos were reportedly lured and abducted by unidentified individuals who promised them jobs. News Central's special correspondent on investigative journalism, Marshall Onoye, is right now in Ghana and brings us this update.
We're here in a region in Ghana where the boys were kept, and we followed the case up when their parents called us, and we did that report on the Nigerians who were abducted and brought to Accra, Ghana, and subjected to some inhuman treatment, and then eventually forced to carry out some nefarious fraudulent activities online. And in collaboration with the Ghanaian police who led us to this place, we eventually rescued the victims. This house is where they were kept. If you can come along with me, I'll just show you. This building is occupied by the man whom they know as chairman, and he kept the boys here. Let's just go inside and I'll show you the rooms where these boys were kept, and they had several laptops, computers, internet, access to the internet, and were carrying out several nefarious activities online. Here we had just dismantled a workstation which was here, and the boys had their chairs here, and this was basically where they mounted the laptops and were chatting up with business corporations from all over the world and trying to intercept business transactions and have the monies or payment for these transactions diverted to their own account. These boys, some of them, let's see your back, let's see. This is a machete and a butcher's knife. These were the kind of items that were used to maltreat these boys. If you take a look at his back, you'd find these injuries were done with this machete on his back. For why were you beaten with the machete?
Because I told him I wanted to go back home.
Because you told him you wanted to go back home. How long have you been here?
It's over a month now.
Over a month now?
Yes.
Okay, and in that period of time, we went into tracking these guys and discovering their location. If you just come further, I'll take you to one of the rooms where these people others were kept. Now here we found a few electronics. We found some gadgets as well that they were using to intercept some business transactions and business deals of several companies from all over the world and diverting payments for those transactions to their accounts. Now, when we came into this place with the Ghanaian police, we discovered we were initially following two boys from Nigeria, but we got here and we found 6 boys kept in this building. The next room I'm about to show you is the room where the man known as chairman was occupying. He was occupying this room. The Ghanaian police had come here. They had also ransacked here, and in this room we found several mobile phones, travel documents of the culprit, the alleged trafficker, or the alleged kidnapper. We also found different kinds of drugs in this room, from marijuana to some others I might not be able to readily identify or mention. This is a closet which was used by the man known as chairman, who is currently at large. Now, we were able to gain entrance to this place. Upon arrival, the place was under lock and key, and the policemen had to break the locks, and we gained access into the compound. But these boys were locked, still locked in this building. For days, they said they've not eaten. For days, they've not had their bath. Just internet access, laptop, and doing whatever it was that they were told to do.
And that was our investigative journalist there, Marshall Onoye, speaking to us on that developing story. Now to talk to our guest regarding this story, we have joining us live on the news, Dennis Samakri, former Assistant Director, DSS, as well as Abuwatseya, Presidential Research Professor of Sociology, Northern Illinois University. Gentlemen, it's a pleasure to have you both join me on the news.
Thank you very much.
Okay, let me begin with Mr. Makri. I mean, you've seen what has transpired. What are your thoughts regarding how we can leverage inter-country or even cross-border security to curb crime and also, issues such as human trafficking?
Thank you very much again. See, we have to investigate this properly because I am an investigator by profession, by career, and I can see too many loopholes there, too many loopholes. And of course, you guys have tried getting all the way down to Ghana and then, of course, getting into that house. But first of all, we have to ask those boys, how did they get there? How were they talent spotted in Nigeria to know that they have this kind of talent to come to Ghana to do this? Because they just don't pick anybody on the street who does not. What was the communication with them and these people before they traveled to Ghana? And there are a lot of loose ends that I think we have to tie up. I know that the human trafficking part of it could be there, but were they, voluntarily going there, or they were taken there by force or stuff like that? So there are little holes that we have to fill up, which will give us a big picture of exactly what happened.
Okay, let me get this perspective of Abuwatseya, the Presidential Research Professor of Sociology. What are your thoughts regarding what kind of rehabilitation this teenage now rescued should undergo?
Well, I think there are actually two things here, and I think it's important to, I guess, separate them a little bit, even though they're connected. One is simply a question of human trafficking, and the other one is a question of cybercrime. Now, again, we're going by very little evidence of what we see, but, assuming the report, it is what it is. So in the first place, the question of human trafficking, young boys for various kinds of reasons, in this case, for cybercrime. And the second part is the element of cyber crimes. So I think we have to keep those two things separately a little bit. And then I guess if the question really here is, I guess, how prevalent these things are or what can be done, I think those will go in different directions. So certainly, I think, the people who encounter the boys will have more to say about their identities, and digging through how they got to Ghana and the details of those investigations. But the wider problem of human trafficking, of young boys and girls for various kinds of reasons, I think those goes really to, I guess, for lack of a better word, to the vast kind of criminal networks that exist in the region and beyond, by the way, whether for violence, for cyber crimes and so forth. So I think that's the angle there. In terms of cyber crimes, again, it's not justifiable, but I think it's important to understand that cybercrime is a huge problem for all countries. There's actually no country that is actually immune from cybercrimes. And it is one of the biggest frontiers of actually security issues at these days. So I think this seems more a little bit like, I guess, on the low end of cyber crimes, meaning that it is just a way of, I guess, tricking people into from their money and accounts. But I guess my point is that cyber crimes is a very huge issue, from national security issues to huge, defrauding. And this is not really a Ghanaian issue or a Nigerian issue or an African problem. this is actually a worldwide problem across continents and across regions. So
just to
I think it's important to understand that.
Well, just to follow your line of thought, talking about cyber issues, what are the factors really that makes victims of human trafficking fall easy prey to this, to people like that who want to exploit them?
Well, so human trafficking, I mean, so again, to talk about human trafficking, really, you have to understand the reasons and the rationale of so those who traffic people, I mean, they have, I guess, a particular goal or interest with it. And whoever they traffic, the question is, can that person meet that? So, for example, the typical cases of human trafficking that we have seen in the African region, one, migration, illegal migration, and number two, civil wars, right? I mean, in context of civil wars, I mean, the trafficking of boys is the value of boys in terms of being combatants. Now, in the context of illegal migration, it's trafficking of people in terms of, I guess, seeking economic opportunities and family reunification and making money for them. So now, in this context here, I think, as the other guest was saying, I mean, human trafficking for cybercrime purposes, I mean, we point you to people with talent. So, it's not anybody that is going to be recruited to come and do cybercrime. And I don't know even what the training in that is. You can easily just train someone to do that. So I think what the vulnerabilities or maybe even the promises, it may have actually been human trafficking wherein, I mean, it's not just a question of kidnapping somebody, but also promises of material things that were not met. So I guess what I'm emphasizing here is that who is trafficked really has to be seen in context in terms of what the criminals can gain from that person's talent or who the person is or their nature.
Well, just to follow, what you have shared so far, what steps then can we take or can the government of Nigeria take to raise public awareness about human trafficking?
Well, so I mean, so I think this will be a continuous fight. It's not going to be a one-time thing, and I think let's separate a little bit the human trafficking part of it, the cyber crime part of it, because I mean, the government of Nigeria and any other country for that matter can actually, engage in making the public aware about cyber crimes, but also going against, I guess, the networks. And I think that will require really fundamental, resources on IT, because I mean, to fight actually cybercrime, you really have to be in the IT space. You have to have people with the IT, knowledge to be able to, dig deep into the dark internet and, I guess follow, if you wish, the trails. So that's a different skill set or different kind of resources compared to the question of trafficking. Trafficking, it's a much more what I will call. I mean, it's a it's a more, the question of trafficking. I think it's a little much more, for lack of a better word, it's more tied to street level crime in the sense that the people who have been targeted are vulnerable people. Now, again, I think the difficulty that we have in here is that when you talk of trafficking people for the purpose of cybercrime, you really have to know what kind of skill set they have and also what kind of promises was made to them. I can tell you some other contexts. I know of many other contexts in Asia and also even in Kenya and other places where people have actually been lured into cyber crime factories or industries. But typically they are lured there with actually promises of job, administrative job, internet job, and so forth. And then when they get there, then they realize that actually it is not for that particular purpose. So I think, so to go back to the very question, what the Nigerian government can do, I think, one will requires, again, heavy resources in terms of IT skills to investigate those things, but also number two, to understand the human need or the economic aspect of the trafficking.
Well, kindly hold your thoughts, gentlemen. I understand we have our investigative correspondent, Marshall, on air to bring us up to speed regarding this unfolding story. Marshall, I mean, just update us once more. How did the trafficking syndicate lure the two teenagers to Ghana under the guise of job opportunities?
Well, one of them happened to be familiar with the kingpin of this kidnapping syndicate, and he had promised him that he was going to get a job in Ghana. That was after being a guest in the hotel where the guy was working at the time in Lagos. And according to the victims, he said, whenever this guy comes around, you know, he comes around with so much flamboyancy, and he spends a lot of money in his hotel. And so that got him attracted to this particular guy, and he then started asking for a job. And then that was how the deal was set, and he promised him jobs. And the victim himself then invited his friend. It was from Zeal to Daniel. So Zeal was the first person who was approached by the culprit, and then Zeal then invited Daniel. And from there, well, we'll get to find more details, but all we know is that from that day that they left their homes in the guise of going to get the job, they found themselves in Ghana. They have said also from the messages we've had from them earlier that they were blindfolded before they got to the location where we rescued them from.
Marshall, what more do you know about this? Are there any latest update information as this unfolds?
Well, we're back at the Accra Regional Police Headquarters. We have the victims with us here. We have 5 people rescued. The Ghanaian police have been very, very fantastic and hospitable. These are the victims that we've rescued so far. These are their bags that they came to Accra with. This is Zeal, Daniel, Zeal, and what's your name? Ezekiel, Bright, and Victor. And they are all adults, 18 years and above. So that's the development. We also have two culprits in detention that were apprehended. One of them on the location, at the location where we discovered these guys, while the other one, we had to meet him up at a different location. They are both in detention right now.
Hello, Marshall, how would you describe the sense, would I say sense of relief from them now that they're going to be rescued? How are they reacting or responding to these issues? That's the teenagers, you're with there.
Well, we've just managed to get them some drinks because they were malnourished. They said they've been starving for some days. They've not had anything to eat or drink. And then they were brutalized. You could see, where's the person? Let me see your backs. You could see the injuries on their backs. And then one of them has a broken hand. Who's got a broken arm? Yeah, you've got a broken arm. He said the machete was used on him. And so they are excited that they've been rescued. Now I have here a relative to Daniel, who also New Central brought him all the way from Nigeria to Ghana to come and stand in line because it's a protocol that he has to be available to identify as a relative to one of the victims.
Okay, Marshall,
so
there's 5 boys there.
Duruji. So what? How does it feel? How does it feel like seeing your nephew?
Very, 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 very excited, very happy. I'm more than happy. In fact, it's a great honor. The police people, they did a lot of things. In fact, beyond and my expectation. Making everything to be the way it is. And they promised they are going to do, and they did it. And everything here visible, we are seeing it physically done. In fact, it's a great appreciation to God Almighty who used them as instruments to making this a reality. So I thank God and I thank all of you, And
when were you informed that we were going to carry out this operation?
It came to me as a surprise, Yeah, that should be 3 days ago. I was called upon and I was told that over a month plus they been looking for Daniel and by the parents. So I said, how would this happen? And nobody told me. He said he just came up like that, and then now started telling me the involvements, all things that involve and those that involved. So that's how the communication started, and then this arrangement was done. And I thank God for the company that came up there, for the press people that came up, and then bring this idea. I even went on to kind of supporting my brother to make sure that the child was rescued from the danger. And today you can see the truth about everything, you can see the reality. So it's a great honor. In fact, I appreciate everything. And I say, may God continue to strengthen you.
Thank you.
Amen.
All right, there you have it, Mr. Aduroji, relative of Daniel here in Ghana. He's excited as well, but, was still... The reality about the kidnapping and all that they've been subjected to is still, hitting everyone.
Yeah. That is true, because I couldn't imagine the scars on their body. How can a human being be so inhuman? Right. To be beating somebody up and injuring the person. I don't know what that, but I thank God.
All right, over to you at the studio. You have some other questions?
Yeah, Marshall, we're also curious to know what's the nationality of those 5 boys. Are they all from Nigeria or other nationality?
We have 4 Nigerians and 1 person from Ghana here.
All right, Marshall, thank you so much for that detailed reporting. We'll keep in touch with you to see how this turns out. Away from that, the Federal Capital Territory Police Command has confirmed the House of Representatives members, Alex Ikwechegh, has been questioned at the Maitama Divisional Headquarters over an alleged assault. Ikwechegh, representing Aba North and South Federal Constituency, reportedly slapped a boat driver, Stephen Abuwatseya, during a dispute over delivery fees. In a viral video, Ikwechegh allegedly threatened the driver, questioning if he knew who he was talking to, and claimed he could make him disappear without consequences. Police spokesperson Josephine Ade stated that preliminary investigations indicate Abuwatseya was delivering a package when the altercation began. The FCT Commissioner of Police, Tunji Duso, has ordered a comprehensive investigation, pledging impartiality and appropriate action. Also keeping tabs with developments of that story happening in Ghana. And now back to Lagos State, we have our camera crew there, Adebola, who is with the mothers of 2 Nigerian teenagers, and that's Daniel and Zil, that was trafficked from Nigeria to Ghana. They are unaware regarding this investigation we're doing here at News Central TV, hoping to bring them live updates regarding the rescue operation, in conjunction with Ghana Police Force here with News Central TV. And now let's connect with Adebola.
And they're bringing them home. Hallelujah! Amen! Jesus! Jesus! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you for good job! Thank you! Oh, Jesus! Jesus. So, thank you for that, man. Oh, thank you to Jesus. God, oh my God. I thank you. Blessed be your name, excellent Father. For that which you have done in the life. Thank you, thank you. Glory, honor, adoration. How do you feel? How do you guys feel? I'm overwhelmed. I thank the government. So what to advise other parents? What the advice to other parents concerning things like this? Although it's not easy, but what I'm advising other parents that they should be, praying to God, try and make sure that the children tell the truth, because they lie to us. But with God, all things are possible. I just want to thank God, and I want other parents to use this as an example to know how they will take care of their children, what to do to their children. I want to say. Just want to thank God. I'm a short of words. Just thank God. I'm just thanking God. I'm so overwhelmed. So I don't know what to say. I'm only thanking God. Now, I'm only thanking God.
Thank you
for the work well done. God have done it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Jesus. I'm so happy. So happy. Oh, Jesus. Let this one be their lesson. Let them show them that this one be lesson to other children, especially that know that their mother is not talking, the mother is not doing something for them. But let them be contented for what they have. No matter what, then allow them people to deceive them or their friends to deceive them. So let other children learn. That's only thing I can say. Wait upon the Lord. Wait till God's time is best. Jesus.
How have you passed through this thing without your service?
Since a month now. Look at me. My eye now is disturbing. I can't see very clear. My BP is so high. I went to hospital 3 days ago. I still went again for the eye, but still no way. Because of why I've been crying, I can't eat very well. This is not how I am. Look at me now. Just look at me. So I'm not feeling happy. It's the only son I have. I'm not feeling happy. You know, you have 21 minutes, you will not be happy. I'm not happy. I've been praying and God intervened. I just want to thank God. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. But I just thank God for rescuing them. That's the only thing I can say.
That's all.
Very possible. You have anything to say?
The only thing I want to say is mothers should know, should put more eyes on their children. Whenever their children is going out, the mother should know, parents should know where their children is going to. And parents should not be that kind of a parent that always be busy, not know what is going on in the life of their children. Whenever their children is going out, their parents should make sure they know where their children is going. And don't allow your children to tell you lies whenever you are doing anything, even in the home or whenever you see them doing something. Make sure your children do not tell you lies. Didn't tell lies, because these children did not tell us that we are going so place or there. I feel so happy by seeing the children. The facts. I say, let all the glory come to the Father in heaven. Already we are praying and believing God that this children will come out. And God made us to know. God promised us that this children is going to come out. And with that belief and that faith we have in Him, honestly, God shows that He is God. He shows that our prayer is not in vain. And other people have been praying for us. People in church, our pastors have been praying for money to thank God. Honestly,
I'm so happy. Like now, my brain is now set. To give us mental stress. God, everything else was not just in peace. This one here, this one here, this one here, this one here. Everyone just started. We're very, very happy. And now, I believe all parents now should know how to treat their children. Even for their some that are very harsh, they should know how to get more close to their children now. Not just by being harsh alone. If you are being harsh, some of them, they're always scared to tell you things. Parents should get close to their children to make their children their friend. I'm just so happy. I don't know. I heard the news today. I'm just so happy, and I pray for quick recovery for them. And we appreciate everything that has been done, the efforts that we put to make this operation a successful one. We just give them God all the glory for bringing good people to us, to locate us, to make this mission a successful one. Yeah, really thank God.
We thank them so much. We thank them so much. And it's only God that will reward them. It's only God that will reward them. As a widow, it's only God that will reward them. God is good. Serve the Lord is gain.
When you serve the Lord, God will not disappoint you. We give all the glory to him for what he has done in the life of our people.
Reactions there from the mother of Daniel and the mother of Zil. Two of the teenage boys who are now rescued trafficked from Nigeria to Ghana. Well, News Central will bring you updates regarding how the story unfolds. And now to updates on the industrial action called by NASU and SANU. Members of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities and the Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions on Monday commenced an indefinite nationwide strike within campuses of public universities to demand the immediate release of their 4-month withheld salaries. However, Nigerian students have lamented the effects of the ongoing strike by the union. Our correspondent, Omolola Ololade, was at the University of Lagos to monitor union member compliance and brings us this report.
These are members of the Non-Academic Staff Unions and Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, University of Lagos chapter, trying to stop students from entering into the Senate building. According to NASU and SANU members, they are ensuring that there is strict compliance toward the ongoing strike, hence putting on hold all activities by the non-academic staff.
By and large, 2 months of the withheld salary is to be paid. And they gave us a promise, and it was about almost a month ago that they will pay. And we keep promising, and they keep promising and promising and hoping that they will pay. But till now, and we find out that our members are not finding it funny that we keep giving them a post-dated check. So we now need to resume the suspended strike.
This time is going to be indefinite until they do something, because they've promised us severally and they failed. Meanwhile, they've paid our other counterparts from other unions. I mean, are we not all workers? We do the same thing, right? So we should get the same value, the same agreement should be kept, the same promise should be kept.
Recall that in 2023, the Joint Action Committee of SANU and NASU handed the federal government a 3-week ultimatum to pay the outstanding withheld salaries of their members or risk an industrial action.
What's happening here today at the Senate House at the University of Lagos is what you can refer to as when 2 elephants fight, the grass suffers. Representing the elephant is, of course, SANU and the federal government, and the grass, of course, as the student, will have to suffer for the ongoing strike.
The strike situation has completely derailed our admission process right now. So when I got here, I saw the staff taking their things and leaving. What's more worrying is that the strike is said to be indefinite.
Personally, financially, it has affected me. And mentally, I'm not happy because I've been here since 3 a.m. To do my JAMB conversion was hell. I had friends that had to go outside of Lagos to go get their JAMB conversion ready. Me too, I had to wait 1 week to get it. And now this process again is about to take another 1 week. It's so sad.
I wanted to submit for screening today, and it has really affected me because I have to go back home. Another money again, 3,000 naira, more than 3,000 naira to go back home. Transportation, everything. I didn't even eat before leaving the house because I wanted to do it fast and just go back.
While students lament over the ongoing strike, SANU and NASU says there is no going back. For how long will the strike continue? And will the ongoing strike make the federal government pay for the 4-month outstanding salaries? I guess only time will tell. In Lagos for News Central, I am Omolola Ololade.
Thank you for staying tuned. Up north, Tunisia's Coast Guard recovered the bodies of 16 migrants over the weekend and on Monday near Malolek, Salakta and Cheba, according to National Guard official Hussein Eddin Jebali. The bodies, which were decomposed and remain unidentified, are the latest victims in the series of migrant boat disasters in the Mediterranean. Last month, 15 Tunisians, including infants, drowned and 10 others went missing after their boat capsized near Jeba. The same month, 13 bodies of sub-Saharan migrants were also found in the area. Tunisia, now the main departure point for migrants from Africa, faces a growing migration crisis as people seek a better life in Europe. South African Foreign Minister Ronald Lamola and his Ukrainian counterpart Andriy Sybiga held a meeting in Pretoria amid Kyiv's the ongoing conflict with Russia. Sybiga expressed gratitude for South Africa's support of Ukraine's territorial integrity and sovereignty. Lamola emphasized South Africa's neutral stance, seeking engagement from all parties involved in the conflict. The meeting highlights the strengthening of relations between South Africa and Ukraine as they work together on global issues.
Thank Minister Lamola for his hospitality, and also I express gratitude for the strong support of the South Africa of Ukrainians' territorial integrity and sovereignty. I congratulate South Africa on 30 years of democracy and this year's forming of the Government of National Unity, which underscores the remarkable success of South African democracy. This war is not the war about only Ukraine. By conducting this aggression, Russia caused several global crises: food security crisis, energy crisis, security crisis. So we need collective efforts, connected efforts to stop this aggression.
As a country that is non-aligned, we want to see engagements by both parties that are involved in the conflict, and we are hopeful that during the exchange of ideas, we will further deepen this discussion that will lead towards ensuring that.
Earlier on Market Pulse, Frank Fabo posed the question to Adebayo Adebanjo, senior research analyst at Cardinal Stone Securities, asking whether he sees more favorable conditions than challenges for the industrial sector moving forward. He also inquired if Adebanjo believes that the sector's strongest rally for 2024 has already occurred.
Second question first. So I would say that that's kind of behind it. And the reason is because the rally that we saw in 2024, for the most part, was not fundamentally justified. And, if I take your mind back to what happened in Dangote Cement early this year, with the activities of the likes of Adebola in that stock, we saw the kind of rally that stock saw over that period. And since then, it has materially corrected, if you've seen how it has traded over the past couple of months. So yeah, I think that's behind it. I think, the market is going to focus more on the fundamentals, as opposed to corporate actions or corporate activities here and there as far as that stock is concerned. And for the overall industry, really, I think that, there's still a lot of upside as far as revenue growth potentials exist. Already, we know that the government's body language is shifting towards infrastructure development. And I think that, with the passing of the supplementary budget, which is supposed to fund the Renewed Hope Infrastructure Debt Fund, I think that should typically aid further, cement demand, over the next, short, medium, and long term, as far as Nigeria, is concerned. So I think revenues will continue to remain strong. Prices also will be high. I think there's still room for even much higher prices as long as inflation remains pretty elevated. So on the revenue front, I think they would remain very, very solid. Okay. For the cost and margins, I think it's how well these players are able to manage their costs, in terms of energy costs, in terms of financing costs, exposure to foreign exchange. Those are peculiar to the company, and that would determine how each company would fare in the long term.
In the world of sport, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu today hosted a special reception for players and officials of Nigeria's senior women's national football team, the Super Falcons, and Nigeria's Green Ladies at the J.K. Randall Center in Onikan, Lagos Island. The event celebrated the team's dedication and achievements, bringing together key officials and football enthusiasts to honor the athletes and their commitment to sport. Governor Sanwo-Olu emphasized the importance of supporting women's sports and commended both teams for their contributions to football in Africa. Dutchman Erik ten Hag has left his role as Manchester United's men's first team manager. Ten Hag's final game was Sunday's 2-1 defeat at West Ham that left the club 14th in the Premier League with just 3 wins from their opening 9 matches. United are also 21st of the 36 teams in European League table, having drawn their 3 open fixtures. Ruud van, who joined the club as Ten Hag's assistant last summer, has been named as interim manager. The club said Van would be in charge while a permanent head coach is recruited. United announced seeking their 6th permanent manager since Sir Alex Ferguson retired in 2013. And that's all on the news. You can watch News Central live on DSTV, channel 422, Star Times, channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I am Adebola Adedugba.